we need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.
Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with freebets.com. Delighted as always to be joined by John Fury, the man himself. We're here in Manchester. John, first off, how are we?
I'm very good. Hope you're the same.
Yeah, can't complain. Busy.
Looking forward to Christmas, hope.
I am doing, yeah. I've got a small matter of going to Saudi Arabia and getting back on Christmas Eve, but we've got it to do.
It's a mission.
Absolutely. Look, first off, John, tell us about freebets.com and Boxing Social. I mean, what a partnership.
You know what, I've been working with them for a while now, and they're the number one in sports betting odds, aren't they? Especially boxing. If you're a sporting man and you like a bet, Free Bets is the one. They're fabulous to work with, treat me really well, and I enjoy the lads. We have a lot of banter. It's all good fun, yeah. Big up Free Bets.
Absolutely. Look, why are freebets.com the best for boxing betting odds?
Well, they are, aren't they? Because you just got to compare. There's more chances with these guys. You know, there's more chances of winning. You know, and at the end of the day, they proved it. You know, because they're still here doing the thing, aren't they? They're only going to get bigger and better. And better odds. And I'll bet they stay around for a long time and taking over.
Absolutely. Well, look, we're only a couple of months away from the biggest prize in boxing, the undisputed heavyweight crown, Tyson Fury, your son against Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah. As a father, from your point of view, how excited are you for this fight? It's historic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big event, isn't it? You know, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world don't get no bigger for the richest price in sport and for all the marbles, yeah. What can you say? If you wasn't looking forward to it, there'd be a problem upstairs, wouldn't there? You know, it's going to be a fabulous event. You know, it's been well put together by the Saudi people. Good luck to them. They've done everything they said they was going to do, and fair play. You know, they put it on in the greatest country in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the place taking over as well, Saudi.
I was going to say, I spoke to you over there and you said nothing but glowing reports about that country. Absolutely, and about how it's putting on these big events. But I spoke to Tyson the other month at the press conference for the Usyk thing, and he's always said, look, take the undisputed tag away, I'm not interested in that. But you as the father, it must mean, you can see how much it means to you. Do you believe in your heart of hearts that he means that? Or is that him just saying, look, I've climbed the mountain once before with Klitschko, but it must, when you hear that, the undisputed, that is literally, doesn't get any bigger than that, does it?
No, it don't get no bigger, but in my mind, I think he's already beat better people than Usyk, you know, proper live heavyweights, natural heavyweights. So it's not who's in front of him, it's about the prestige around the undisputed. You know, and like I say, I can't speak for Tyson these days because I don't really know what's in his head anymore, to be fair. So all I can do is speak for myself, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a good event, you know, and if he trains properly, and I mean trains properly, and he's got to change it up, it'll be a great night. And I can't see any other winner, but he's got to do it right. Any corners cut, any stones left not unturned, it ain't going to happen.
I was just about to come on to that, and obviously we were all there in Saudi Arabia for the Ngannou event. Yeah. He turned up. I think you've touched on it a little bit, but if Tyson comes in the same manner as he did for Ngannou, do you still say that he'd beat Usyk, or does he need to completely change it up from what happened?
Well, I said last time, and last time I said this, they put it out there and said it wrong, more or less a clickbait. What I said was Tyson's training camp and his training was in decline. And it was, very much so. I never said at any time Tyson was in decline, because he's not. Yeah. He's got plenty of years left in him, but he's got to train properly. You know, and it's all right saying these people can't fight. They all can fight. Anybody what's prepared to get in that ring and climb up that ladder and train for months on end and devote their life to it, and 3 months of nothing but pure pain, sweat and tears, they're dangerous people, you know, and like I say, last time, in my honest opinion, I'll say it again because I'm a straight man, his training and his training camp was non-entities, because he was probably in the worst shape I've ever seen him, ever.
It's funny you should.
And it was only he's that good on his ability, and he is very good, to get the win.
I was going to come on to that, because when I spoke to him, he was saying, look, I've given Ngannou the utmost respect. I give him longer in terms of a training camp. Was it the nature of what was happening in the training camp, or was it the length of the training camp? What was it kind of thing?
Well, for what I was seeing, I might as well sat at home, hadn't he? Might as well sat at home. Because, like I said before, I've seen what he's been doing, and it's just not enough at this level. Everybody takes things lightly. People's frightened of losing their jobs. It's very difficult to get people to give you a true rundown of what's going on, because they're frightened of losing their job, aren't they? They know the richest prize in sports hanging around the corner, and they don't want the marching orders, so they won't be telling him what he really wants to know, and there's only one man going to tell him, and that's me, because I don't get paid. I don't think he's my son, and I want him to keep winning, but they've got to change it up dramatically.
Do you think that last performance will serve as a bit of a wake-up call to show you that, look, especially heavyweights, that, one punch and we can change the course of history kind of thing? Do you think that will be a little bit of a wake-up call?
Can they change it up, though? Can they change it up? I don't see how they can, because if they couldn't get it right for Ngannou, and he was in terrible shape for that one, what makes you think the same team can do it for Usyk?
Do you not think the victories over Deontay Wilder, that obviously they got it right for that one, they can say, look, we know what went right for that fight, the most, pound for pound, one of the most dangerous punches in history, we need to get that back? You don't think they can go back to that?
One style to beat one man, don't beat everybody else. He needs a different style altogether with Usyk, totally different. Because if you go back to many years ago, you can watch it on the TV, on the internet, it's Jerry Cooney, Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks was a blowed up light heavyweight, probably weighing just over 14 stone at the time. Jerry Cooney, 6'7", maybe 18 stone. Look what happened. Watch the fight, watch the video. You can't, these are speed men, and you just can't have that straight up, going forward, looking to land a bomb on these kind of fighters, because guess what? They can see it coming and they'll avoid it. And Usyk is very good. He's a good mover. He's got a brain. He's got good footwork. And then the style for Deontay Wilder and the style for Francis Ngannou ain't going to cut it with a man like Usyk, is it?
Is Usyk about who's got the better chess game? Because we see how Usyk moves around the
Exactly.
ring. Is that what it comes down
Absolutely.
to, up here rather than in here?
Absolutely. And if you haven't got it right there, any big man can do what they're doing. Ball forward and hope to land a bomb. But Tyson is not that, and I keep trying to tell him, but you know what? Nothing's registering these days with him at the end of the day, because sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees with everything else going on around you. And what he needs is to look at the job properly and say, hang on, Deontay Wilder was a totally different opposition and character to this man. Deontay Wilder couldn't do anything else, only punch. He couldn't fight going back, he couldn't box, he's not a good mover, so the stage was set to walk forward and put it on him, because you'd probably get away with it. But this man here, he's not going to be there to land them bombs on. You've got to set it up properly. And set it up, and you've got to train to set those jobs up, and that's what you call boxing ability at its best from Tyson. And he's got it, and he can do it.
I was going to say, over the years we've seen obviously contrasting styles with how he's handled the likes of, if you look at a Klitschko fight, but then a Deontay Wilder 2 fight. So he's shown he can do both. But you, as the father, the guy who's obviously from young, seen him come up. From your point of view, how does he take on a guy like Usyk? Thinking man's game.
Well, he's got to get back to what made him great. Movement and awkwardness and keeping the man offset all the time, not giving Usyk time to set his game up. You can't give Usyk a second, because if he gets a second to get his game plan together, he's going to make an awkward night for anybody. But what you've got to do is just be as clever as him and do what he does, and make Usyk think he's in front of a mirror fighting himself. And Tyson can do that. And the bigger guy, the stronger guy, will get to him. But it's all got to be set up properly. You're not going to do it just walking forward like he did last time. It's not going to happen. You're not going to put them two-faced combinations on a Usyk. No.
It's going to be an intriguing fight, and
Absolutely,
it's one I think that...
You know what it's got to be? It's got to be brains, a tactical warfare, and a chess game. And Tyson can do all that. It's a thinking man's job. If you think you're going to go in there and just, walk forward, your hands up, thinking you're going to bulldoze someone, you might be all right for a bit. But you know what? It'd be better done. That's why they call it boxing, isn't it? Box clever. He can make it an easy night, but he can also make it a very hard night. On the style he's got now, it's going to be an hard night.
It's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is and what they come up
know,
with.
Like I say, let me just clarify. I'm not having anything to do with Tyson's training camp at all. I have nothing to do with it. I only seen Tyson when I got to Saudi, because I was in camp with Tommy, and when I seen him, well, my head nearly fell off. I thought, what, you've been doing for 12 weeks? It did. But I never said no, because it was all too late. It was happening. You just had to get...
Kind of late to change it, isn't it?
Too late to do anything about it. You don't want to put anybody on a downer a week before a fight, do you? But you know what? The horse had bolted, but Tyson's good at making the best of a bad job, isn't he? And he always finds a way to win. But Ngannou should have his head boxed off. Not trying to knock a man out, was built like granite and 6'6" and 19 stone. He should have been behind that jab, awkward, making him miss and pay. It would have been an easy night's work. But they never trained for that. They thought it was going to go in there and knock a bulldozer over. Guess what? Not happening. No brains involved in that camp. And Tyson's surprised because he's got brains. He's clever, but you just got to use them when they're needed. Wrong tactics, totally. So they've got it all wrong for Ngannou and still managed to get the win. So they've got to... What happens if he gets it right with Usyk? Guess what? An easy night and an easy victory for Tyson. But he's got to get it right. And like I say, the people around him, no disrespects, they're doing the best. But in my opinion, the best ain't good enough. Not at this level, and not for these calibre of people he's messing with. You're messing with the best of the best here. Not just with Usyk, because Usyk, he's already beat better men than him. But what makes Usyk good is the people around him. And they're very good. They're excellent. As good as Tyson is as a fighter, Usyk's team is as good as a team, if you can understand what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. They work together like
Oh,
collaboration.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And they're very, very professional. They're very disciplined. And they know their man. And they know what makes him tick. They know which every move he makes and what to put right. So that's what teamwork's for. But at the minute, I don't see that kind of professionalism around Tyson. Not at all.
What needs to change then? Because like you said, if they're trying everything, like you say, then what needs to change with him? Is it just a mindset? Is it instruction
Nothing
from
to
people?
Do with the mindset. Tyson's mind's like concrete. Tyson needs to work hard and put some muscle on his frame. He won't want to, because if I was training a man for 12 weeks and I turned him out like that, I'd be embarrassed. It says the strength and conditioner ain't up to much. It says the dietitian don't know what he's doing at all. And the trainer, with that game plan, he doesn't know what he's doing either. So that's straightforward. What he needs, in my opinion, is time to recondition his body. But he hasn't got time. He's got to make the best of a bad job. It's here on the 17th of February. But he needs a 6 months programme to get his body right, let alone train to fight and box. But Tyson's that good. And like I say, Usyk, you've seen him in the past. If it's going wrong for him, it stays going wrong. And I just think Tyson can beat him on a bad night, to be fair. He only needs to be 70% for him. But you know what? If he was 100%, it'd be an easy night, like I said. But at the minute, if he gets turned out like that, and if people don't want to clickbait what I'm saying, if he doesn't get turned out like this and he comes in 75% of what he is, it'd be a Tyson win. But he needs time to get right, Tyson. But you need time, 6 months, to build some muscle on that frame. Because when he fought last time, he never had an ounce of muscle on him. He was fat thin. He was all misshaped. I never seen nothing like it. It was depressing, really, looking at it. But I see a great champion, a great man. Everybody telling him how great he is, patting him on the back. But that ain't cutting it. It's not packing muscle on that 6'9" frame, is it? It's not putting thunderbolts in each hand, And at the end of the day, you've got to work. And I know when they're multi-millionaires, it's very hard to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and do your thing. Mm-hmm. We know that. But there's going through the motions training, jogging at your own pace with some earphones in for 3 miles, just sweating. But you need more on that. Mm-hmm. You've got to be pushed. You've got to be pushed till you're physically sick. And that builds muscle, doesn't it? If you're doing things at your own pace, jab, yeah, oh, great. And every time you hit the pad up, somebody's pretending to fall over. That's not doing you any good either, is it? You've got to have a man what's going to tell you, this ain't good enough. We've got to work and work harder and work very hard. And a man who works hard don't look like that. Doesn't look like it. So he's not been working hard. It's all going through the motions. They're what they call training, they're getting a sweat on, but they're not building muscle because they're not putting enough into it.
It's going to be interesting to see the contrast between last fight and now and see what it looks like on them scales and what he turns up to fight with.
I hope I'm going to kick him straight up the arse by talking like this, because and I hope they say properly instead of giving bits and pieces and picking stuff that might get a viewing figure. I'm telling you how things are, what need to happen. But let me clarify this. I never said at one time Tyson was in decline. Not Tyson. His training was in decline. His training camp was in decline. The full training camp was a non-entity. That's what I was saying, and that's what I'm going to stand by. But Tyson, if he'd done it right and got the eye of the tiger back, he could be champion till he's 40-year-old. Because Usyk's not a threat to Tyson Fury, what I know can do.
Exactly. Well, just to clarify, like you said, and from my end, I understand what you're saying. You're not saying he is. You're saying more of the setup.
The setup,
not him.
It's a non-entity completely. Because how can you turn a man? If you've had a man for 12 weeks, and you turn him out like that. What are you? Am I right here? What I'm saying? You can only speak as you find. But no disrespect to those people. Again, I will clarify. They can only do the best they can. And I'm sure they've done that. But guess what? That's not cutting it, is it? You want to turn a fighter out and look like he's done some work. Look like a fighter. Look like a menace in the other corner. Put the fear of God into your opponent before you even fight. Not somebody looking at you like you're trained in your larder. You know what I'm saying? Come on. People don't like me, but I'm probably the straightest guy out there.
I'm going to say, John, you say it as it is. You don't show it. You sort of shoot from there as you see it.
They can be upset. They can call me whatever they want to call me. But you know what? The truth hurts every time. And I'm going to say, get out your silk sheets, put your millionaire status at the back of you, and train your arse off.
Fair.
Enough said.
Right. I want to speak to you just a little bit about the other heavyweights that are coming up, because we are going to see before all this, there's some really interesting clashes. You've got Anthony Joshua against Otto Wallin. He just linked up now with Ben Davison after being in the States. Changing what do you make of that link up? Because it's come out of nowhere really, and obviously being Tyson's former trainer, he's linked up with him, and now he's going against Otto, a former opponent of Tyson. What do you make of the link up, and what do you think of him versus Wallin?
First of all, good luck to Ben Davison. He's an intelligent kid. He's been in the right place at the right times, and he has had a lot of success, hasn't he, as a trainer? So fair play to him, and if he can do anything for AJ, well, everybody else has tried, haven't they, and failed, so why not give Ben Davison a chance, But back to AJ, I'm not so sure again about the people around him and the managing side of him picking a man like Otto Wallin. He'd give anybody a problem. And if you're...
They've made a mistake picking him before, potentially a Wilder.
He's a 6'5" southpaw. He's a good game kid. And again, for mine, when he's got one of the best trainers in the world in his corner, enjoy Gamage. So at the end of the day, it's an uphill battle, let's put it that way. Can AJ pull it off? He can. But he's going to get tested like he's never been tested before. I think in my own mind, if I was looking after him, I wouldn't have picked Wallin, no.
Especially with what's been talked about, what's going to be coming after, and you can never look past any opponent, especially one like Otto Wallin.
Well, Otto Wallin, you've seen what happened with Tyson. I know Tyson wasn't at his best, but at the end of the day, he had a bad night, Tyson. But listen, it didn't stop Otto Wallin from putting in a great performance in, and it gives us a clue to what Wallin can do. And Wallin's just beat one of them good Eastern Europeans, hasn't he?
Very good fighter.
And when AJ is like he is, he's on a comeback trail, he's had a couple of setbacks, he needs confidence builders, and this ain't a confidence builder, it's a bloody hard fight. It's an hard fight. Southpaws, they're all hard fights. He's a big fit man, he'll have done his work, and he sees his chance now. He's got his chance, Wallin. And a win for Wallin just sets him straight up there, don't it?
When you look at the flip side to that, you've got Deontay Wilder going in there with a Joseph Parker trained by Andy Lee. Sort of feel like we've seen a bit of an up and down, but the last performance against Simon Keane, he got the job done in emphatic style.
Yeah, he did.
I think the fight before that, he got a first round knockout. I know he had a bit with Joe Joyce, found it tough, which, let's be honest, many people have. When you're hitting someone and they're not moving out the way, it's not deterring him. It can be a bit disheartening, but with Deontay Wilder, I think he's had half a round in 18 months since the last Tyson fight. You got Helenius out there, very quick. How do you see this fight going, and do you give Joseph Parker a reasonable chance to beat Deontay Wilder in Saudi Arabia?
Again, your own common sense will tell you it's a dangerous fight for Joe Parker. Yeah. Very dangerous. But none of us know exactly how much Wilder's got left. He's been in 3 hard fights for Tyson. He's had a lot took out of him, and if you'd have to say Joe Parker was fresher because he's younger. He's 31 years old. One man said he's nearly 37, Wilder.
Yeah, I think 37, 38.
Again, a dangerous fight, but Wilder's only got one shot, hasn't he? The right hand. Joe can box a bit, and he's a strong kid himself. But, again, a tough fight for Joe Parker.
If you were training Joe...
He's getting enough money for it. That's why they're there, isn't it?
Let's be honest, like Saudi Arabia's opened the door for all these guys to get paid.
For what he's getting, I'd fight Wilder.
Oh, gosh. Well, look, let's move away from that fight. Where you've had a terrific year in terms of Tommy's progression. Yeah. Dealt with a lot of pressure this year in 2 fights. I know people talk about misfits, but at the end of the day, these guys are in there to cause upsets and to beat someone with that last name of yours. Yeah. And he's dealt with 2. One in particular, I think the Jake Paul one for me was high pressure, high stakes. You had every man and his dog in boxing going, you have to win this for boxing kind of thing. And he went in there and did it. How pleased are you with Tommy's year and how he's sort of progressing as a fighter?
Well, yeah, I'm more than happy for Tommy's year. He's had 2 good wins, not in the fashion we'd like them to be in, because I was expecting Tommy to knock both of them out, but we had problems leading up to both of them fights, and at the end of the day, like you say, pressure's key, isn't it? A young man like him is 24 years old, and it's a lot for him to take in and handle, because he's got the peers of boxing on his back, all... waiting for him to lose in anticipation, and he's thinking, what, he doesn't want to let Tyson down, he don't want to let me down, he don't want to let the name down, and he does the best he can. But like I say, he's had injuries. He fought last time with his hand was finished, really. He had his knuckle was back up here, he had cortisones, he had his hand frozen on the night for KSI, didn't do any good, so now he's got to have a set with his hand. Afraid.
Has KSI paid you his money yet?
He'll never pay. Bums don't pay the bills, do they? Absolute dickheads like that, because that's what that is. He ain't. He's got a cheek to want to be a rematch. Well,
I think they're still trying to appeal that decision, even though it got stopped.
Yeah, it's silly. That's how stupid. How can you expect a man who's trying to appeal that decision to pay his bill? If I have a bet and I lose, I'm paying you. Can you imagine if John Fury never paid?
Mate, front page, wouldn't it?
I'd be in every paper in the country. Welsher, man's word's no good, horrible man, get rid of him. And yet they've all backed KSI up, haven't they? Looking for reasons why he shouldn't pay. There's no reason why he shouldn't pay. You have a bet. He called it on. He put it on. He said it was chicken feed. I said, okay, no problem. But I did say the money wasn't for myself. I was going to donate it to a charity. Publicly, on video. He still wouldn't pay. So 1 or 2 things. He hasn't got it, or he's just one of them. People who spit at other people, what can you expect of them? They're not men, they're nothing, they're vermin. And what does vermin do? Scourge in the sewers. And that's what he'll end up doing. Enjoys right at the top. I never want to see him again. Bum. And money don't make a man. You're a man without money. Because in this young day and age now, there's no principle, there's no work ethic. They want everything given to them, everything on a plate. And they think, you know what, everybody should, because they've got money, treat them as something they're not. And he's not a man, is he? Enough said on him anyway.
Right.
He'll never get the rematch either. Never.
Last-
So he's done himself, hasn't he? He's done himself. I have a lot more than 200. Forget him.
Last couple from me. I want to touch on Roman Fury. Start his professional career. Nobody really knows what to expect, and I suppose, but I want to say in his last fight I was watching, and he dispatched that guy like a seasoned pro, like how you would deal with either a journeyman or whatever coming through, and it was a terrific knockout. So, what can we expect from him coming up this year? Because he's like I say, still learning as he's going through, but impressive start, good start.
The thing is with Roman, he works hard, he trains hard, and he knows where he's at in life. He knows he's at the bottom of the ladder, and he just wants to take one step at a time and improve slowly. He should have fought on the 1st of December, but he come down with this bug everywhere he's been getting. I've had it myself, and like I say, he couldn't box that night, but there's plenty of good stuff coming for Roman. And for a kid that's never boxed amateur, who only took up the sport in lockdown, he's lost 5 stone, and he's had 3 fights, and one was a cracker, and he's never boxed in his life, amateur or professional. Well, he's had 3 pro fights, that's it. What you see of him in the ring, that's all he's done ever. So congratulations to him, he's done well.
I was going to say, when you see a before and after picture from the work he's put in, it just shows you what hard work and obviously boxing can do. Look, last one from me. What would your freebets.com treble be for the big show in Saudi Arabia? So, I need a prediction for Joshua Wallin. Who would you have?
Difficult. Do you know what? It's that difficult of a job. Because AJ, he's got somewhat in him. He'll bite down his gum shield because he knows he's got to. I'm going Wallin. Yeah. I've got to, with the team he's got, the trainer he's got, and how awkward he is. And you know what? He wants it, don't he? And the other man, he's coming off AJ disappointment. He's just got him with a new trainer. And no disrespect to Ben Davison. He's a good kid, he's 25-year-old, whatever he is. But he can't match Joey Gamage. No way. And that's why I'm going Wallin.
Okay, next one. Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker. I suppose a hard one for you, because obviously Joe's close, but I suppose
I'm just trying to think of the way to put it as it should be put. I don't know how much Wilder's got left. If Joe Parker can get it on him and force him to fight off the back foot, he'll make a fight of it. But I've got to say, Wilder's power, there's only one man can take it. Mm-hmm. And that's Tyson, the Gypsy King. So if Joe can grow a pair and throw everything at him but the kitchen sink, but he's going to have a lot of movement, he's going to have a lot of awkwardness and a lot of gameness. But I've got to say Wilder.
And last one from me, Daniel Dubois, Jarrell Miller. Daniel obviously coming off that performance against Oleksandr Usyk, Jarrell Miller inactivity over the years. But talk's a good game. Daniel a lot quieter, but who wins that fight?
Again, Daniel Dubois for me, good kid, but his heart's questionable. For me, he's quit in 2 fights, hasn't he? And that for me is a no-go area. Jarrell Miller, talented kid, fast hands, big guy. Again, they're so close, because...
interesting fights.
If Dubois' balls was a bit bigger, I'd be saying Dubois. But because they're not, I'm going to say Miller.
Well, there are your 3 picks there. Look, John, we wish you all the best.
They're all very, very close.
Yeah.
I've had to think about them. But I'm weighing up the ones, the size of his nuts. I'm weighing up the other ones. He's an unbeaten kid. I know he's done this. He's got fast hands. He's a big guy. We've had him in a gym training, and he can put them together. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Daniel likes being it too much, does he? But a good kid, he can bang himself. He could knock Miller cold out with one shot. He's got the power. But I don't know. I'll go Miller on it, I think. Just because the other one's a bit of a quitter and he proved it to be.
Well, look, John, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you giving us so much of your time here in Manchester.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Enjoyed chatting to you and hope you have a good Christmas and
Merry
a
Christmas
good New
to you,
Year.
son, as well. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you again.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.